Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Talks with the Real Talk with Doc. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and turn on those post notifications. If you're finding this content is being of any value whatsoever, please comment below. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to know what's going on with your journey. So, good morning, Kay. What's going on?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So this morning, we want to know any updates you have for us.
We always have updates. This week, we'll be putting on the market our second round of new build duplexes in the city of Cumberland. That experience has been quite the process in working with Mayor Ray and his constituents down there. We are also wrapping up a new build project on 30th Street right here in Southeast DC. If you want to go by and see the beautiful contemporary home, great client. Shout out to my frat brother Eric and his beautiful wife Ebony, who is a boss among bosses. So you can go by and check that out. Just maybe 3 streets up on 38th Street, we're doing a full gut renovation. Framing is underway with that. And the project that has been my baby, that is almost coming to an end, Kennedy Street. Yes, our Kennedy Street 30-unit mixed-use commercial building is about 6 weeks out from being completed. And man, I cannot wait for this project to be completed. Kay is also going to be shooting live content, probably not this week, but next week, from our Chateau Mansion that we're doing in McLean, Virginia. That too is about 2 months from being out near completion, finishing up the precast and the exterior front and getting ready to do the landscaping. The inside has turned out to be amazing. So I can't wait to share that with you guys so you can see the selections that these clients have made. True Chateau home in truest fashion that you can imagine. And last but not least, to wrap up, we are getting ready to ramp up our construction crews for the spring, summer months that are coming up. We have a lot of projects in the pipeline, so thank you to all of our great clients out there who choose us over the many thousands of other general contractors you could have chosen in the area. We're always humble and we're always most appreciative of that. So let's get these projects closed out so we can get other projects going and continue to be of service to our clients and investors.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
That's awesome. So with this spring, like, I know we've been talking about renovations and upgrades. So is there anything that you can speak to as it pertains to that we have coming up?
Renovations in terms of client renovations or renovations in terms of renovations for new clients. One thing that I can speak of is that we are starting a new cabinet partnership with Wood Mold Cabinetry. Yes, look them up, www.woodmold.com. Yeah, we're putting a plug out there for them. We were with WW Wood Cabinets, but we had some issues with, I'll just say we had issues and leave it at that. Nevertheless, Wood Mold product is a much more superior product, quality is better, and actually we should have started the partnership with them. So we directly deal with the manufacturer who are based right here in Pennsylvania in the United States. In about 2 weeks, we'll go to their central headquarters and do training up there. I can't wait. I'm kind of excited. And shout out to our regional rep, Scott and Scott Jr., father-son combination, great combination of individuals to work with. And we're really excited about launching our new line of cabinetry. You'll see that on our website. So we do a lot of kitchen and bathroom renovations for our clients. A lot of clients are in kitchens that, we talked about this before, older kitchens, and just want to spruce them up, make them more functional, make them more centralized around family gathering in the kitchen. So we do a lot of kitchen and bath renovations. So in terms of things that just makes us uniquely different than others, is just our attention to detail. Clients having access to, the owner when something goes wrong. I think that's very, very, very important. And the owner responding in a timely manner. My clients know that if I don't answer the phone, I'm in a meeting, that I want to give that meeting that courtesy and respect. And when I'm out of that meeting, you'll be the first that I call back, and I stick true to that. Because clients want communication. They want to know what's going on, especially when they're spending spending top dollar for quality work that's supposed to be at the top of, the field, the industry. So we take that very seriously, making sure that every client simply put has the elite renovation, construction, new build development experience. It's just that simple. And we can deliver on that every single time. We're delivering 5-star quality services throughout the project. Jackie, good morning. Shout out to Jackie and Royce, great friends from high school from Orangeburg, South Carolina. I see she's tuned in early this morning. Good morning to you. They have an amazing stonework company down in North Carolina, and they are crushing it. I wish I could afford some of them homes that they be doing. I mean, you're talking about simply gorgeous, top-notch professional stonework. Go check out Jackie and Royce. So shout out to them. Shout out to Eric Bowman, who's always supporting, always stamping our timeline with positivity, which we need and we love. And shout out to, who am I missing, Kay? I want to make sure I shout out everybody who's out with us 6 o'clock in the morning getting it in. These are my early risers right here. So loving that, appreciating that. And I thank some people who logged on just before I look at the screen. And my man, LP, the Elmer, good morning to you. One of our soldiers in the company, also known as B. Elmer Soto. So Elmer, thanks for tuning in this morning. We're talking about the great work that you lead out there in the field. So thank you for all that you do with the company, Elmer. Elmer's been with the company since we started the company. And he could be doing 50 million other things in the morning. I know he heard my voice 50 million times. And he's also tuning in to just take advantage of whatever content that we can bring that's going to be of meaningful value to our watchers out there. So this is our second, what do you call this thing? Coffee
and real estate.
Coffee and real estate with Doc. So what else you got for me, Kay?
All right, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. Doc is open to that. Right, Doc?
Interactive, that's what we want this to be. This is for you guys. This is about creating and fostering a community of sharing information in the space that we're in. And that's how we elevate one another, by sharing information, gaining and acquiring knowledge through one another, through that exchange of information, so that we can just go out and be better, not only for our clients, but also for our businesses and the jobs and the opportunity that we provide for many people in our community. Very powerful thing to understand.
All right, so what are the most important factors to consider before starting a home renovation, for those who need to know?
You need to know your budget. A lot of people don't realize how much appliances cost. Like a simple appliance package could start off at $6,000. And $6,000 is not a little bit of money, right? So know your budget. Before you meet with contractors, know what your wish budget is, which is never the same as your actual budget. And then you're going to have a max budget. So just think of having 3 lanes: your wish budget, your actual budget that, on a perfect day, this is where you want to be in reality, and then your max budget, to get everything you want. This is the number that I'm not going beyond. So if you know those 3 numbers, you're going to have clarity going into a situation, work with any contractor, whether it's for a renovation, whether it's for a kitchen job, whether it's for an addition, whether it's for a basement completion, whether it's for exterior hardscape work, whether it's for, doing an electrical heavy up. We're finding ourselves doing a lot of those in DC these days because a lot of clients are wanting to add renovations to their home, but their old electrical panel just doesn't have the amperage to support adding any new electrical load. So we have to go in and do electrical heavy ups. So again, just knowing what that number is in those 3 categories. Really, the first number is like, don't look at it, but look at what construction actually costs. And it's okay to see how far off you are from reality. That's why I put that number in there. So when you can break your budget up into those 3 categories, it really helps drive the conversation and manage, more importantly, your expectations going and meeting with any competent contractor.
What are the top home upgrades that offer the best return on investment?
Simply put, 3 places. First, the kitchen. Whether you cook or whether you don't cook, but believe it or not, kitchens and your owner suite add the most value to any home as far as a new renovation is being concerned. And then the third thing is basements, right? So think about it in a real practical sense. People who love to cook, one of the first things you see, especially in these open floor plans, is how nice and how beautiful these kitchens are. Kitchens have now become the centralized gathering hub in a home, Remember, we were growing up with every room was kind of compartmentalized and you couldn't see any other room. And the kitchen was not the place that we gathered, but we gathered in the family room, right? You know, you go down those steps and we had those old panel walls, and then you had that big TV that was in that big wooden box. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. And then when that big wooden box went out, you put another TV on top of that, but you kept the big wooden box TV there, right? The whole way in which we interact with the space in which we live had completely transformed compared to that when we were kids. Like now people love these open floor plan concepts. They like to see from one room to the other and be able to communicate across a floor plan. So that makes a big difference when you have a home that flow and function the way that you want to live and interact with your family and friends and those people that are fortunate to be invited into your home. So again, kitchen renovation, owner suite. Owner suite includes the owner's bathroom, paint, any upgrades that you can do, like built-in custom fireplaces are really nice additions to owner suites. And then, you know, the basement, man cave, right? Additional space that you have to live as far as having an unfinished basement. Those top three things add value to your home when you're looking at how do I also not only enjoy the beauty of the space, but in the event that I go to sell, how does this become an investment as well that I can be focusing on and making sure the two blend so that you can also maximize that return on your investment in the event that you do go to sell.
Okay, you mentioned budget. What are some mistakes that homeowners make when it comes to these renovations and potentially overspending? Like, what are some costs that come up that they don't think about?
No discipline. It is a job of a good contractor to advise, to express, to lay out, to account, to put all of this stuff in writing as the expert on what this construction project is going to cost, and to also explain anything that could be anticipated in this new renovation project. So when you explain all of that to the owners up front, going back to managing expectations, not only are you managing expectations, but you're also saying, look, you can hold me accountable to not pulling the rug from under you. One thing you want to watch out for contractors that are just not honest is that they'll give you a really low price to what I call to clear the table, get all other contractors off the table, get you locked into a contract, and then they want to change order you to death for every single thing throughout that project, and you feel trapped, you feel helpless. Make sure that you hold your general contractors accountable to being the experts that are supposed to be coming in and advising you and making sure that you stay disciplined to your budget. Remember, you got your, your la-la land construction that is not that cost. And then you got an actual construction budget that, you want to be at in the middle of the road. And then you got that max construction budget. Under no circumstances, you stay true to that, you be disciplined, and you be honest with your general contractor. Well, look, this is what I want this project to be. This is the max I want to spend on this project. And more importantly, can I get all of these things through you in writing that I can do for this budget, that middle budget? And then, the general contractor tell you yes or no. And if he tells you yes, great, get that in writing. Map that out from start to finish. What does that include? What finishes does that include? How much do you have for appliances? How much do you have for kitchen countertops? How much do you have for kitchen cabinets? How much do you have for tile? Do you get a backsplash in that? Make sure you thoroughly vet that. That goes back to that communication being a critical piece in that. And once you get that in writing, you can also say to the general contractor, and look, worst case scenario, things go wrong, I do not want to exceed this number. Tell your contractor that, because now you're holding them accountable to that. And when you can clearly communicate that and clearly articulate that, send that to, call them back. Just hit the first one. No. There you go. Yeah, see, we get calls coming in and starting as early as 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, they don't want to see your chair. There we go. Little, phone call coming in real quick. So let's jump back on track, Kay.
All right, so we were talking about home renovations, but let's switch gears for real estate developers, those who are real estate developers in the community that you have. What are the key differences between flipping houses and long-term real estate development?
So a flip, by definition, on average, can take anywhere from 3 months to a year. You shouldn't be no more than a year in a flip. If you're in that flip for more than a year, I don't know how you fund it, because most people are using, commercial funding, hopefully you graduated from hard money, but sometimes you got to use hard money when you're starting out and people don't know what you can do. They don't know your work. You don't have a track record. We get it, right? Stepping stone. And then long-term development really takes place anywhere from 10 months to as long as 3 years, just based on the size of that development project. So there's the difference right there, the time frame in which it takes. The entitlement process is also different in terms of what you need for development, in terms of developing a community, in terms of developing a mixed-use building that's 30,000 plus square feet. You know, you're going for a flip. Sometimes you can get what is called a desktop permit based on what you're doing in that flip, in that renovation. And you can get that in like a day in some municipalities. For renovation, a lot of times your permit drawings and requirements are not as extensive in a development project. Development projects, sometimes you have a lot of site work you have to do. You have county meetings you have to go to based on the size of that development. You have 100-year floodplain studies that you have to do in some areas. Like, development is a much more extensive process, even on the front end before you even put a shovel in the ground. Sometimes you have to go into public space and work with the county in terms of how they're going to minimize your costs and what they're going to be requiring you to do. Sometimes you got to bring in sidewalks to connect to other sidewalks that are adjacent to both sides of your property. Development can really get into a lot of things that people just don't think of when they're transitioning from that flip to small development to micro development to macro development. And again, it's a process that you learn along the way. So if you can keep your time schedule and finish ahead of construction schedule when you're doing a flip, that's a critical skill and attribute to start to bring over into getting into development, because that means you can keep a construction schedule, you can manage your trade partners very well. You got good trade partners that are not going to throw your schedule and be dragging their feet, and you got to, you know, almost slap them to get back to the job. You're managing construction very well. You're managing your inspections very well. You're managing all of those things very well, which is a good sign that not only do you do one flip, but you do multiple flips, and those multiple flips lead you into a smaller development project.
That's great. What are the biggest challenges developers face in today's market, and how can they overcome them?
The exit strategy. I mean, we're challenged with that right now. When the market is not doing well and people don't have jobs and the economy is not vibrant and the economy is not thriving and you have economic strife and you have economic uncertainty, that places a domino effect impact across not just the development industry, but many industries. So for instance, our 30-unit building on Kennedy Street, if we would have been out of this project during the peak of the market when people were, you know, as soon as you put something on the market, it had 4, 5, 6 contracts. And just 3 years ago, we would have done really well in this mixed-use building. We got it appraised about 2 months ago. We're literally negative $5.5 million upside in the appraisal value just 3 years later versus 3 years ago. So what are you doing that? Well, you got to pivot. You got to find a way to get occupancy, and now we got to pivot to renting because we can't give the units away. And then we got to wait for the market to stabilize again, and then we have economic prosperity and economic growth, and people are economically confident that their jobs are going to be there. So that's a direct impact due to what's going on with all of this other craziness in the Trump administration and people just waking up any given day not knowing that they have a job. And that's a terrible, terrible, terrible space to be in. So those people are not going to be buying homes right now. And now you're seeing homes sit on the market way longer than they did just literally the same time around this time last year. Another thing that has direct impact on development is sometimes when you do now start to create this bottleneck effect, not only do that one development project in that particular city is impacted, or that particular block or that particular community is impacted, other developers are impacted because now you get to what is called market oversaturation, where everybody projects are sitting on the market. And some people are in much more dire, desperate situations than others, and they gotta sell, and they rather just sell and break even or sell and lose some money to keep their commercial credit intact, to keep their company name intact. So now that also depreciates the value of what real estate should be in the market at that time, because you're going to have people who are willing to sell below market value. So what does that do? Now everything else, the appraisers are going to be looking at that in comparison to expressing to the bank what one should be really, or better yet, what the bank should invest in max to have someone finance a property in that particular market. So you see so many different impacts. I can go on and on in terms of just not having a strong, vibrant, confident economic economic space that we're living in right now.
That's good. That's good information. All right, so wrapping up with our last section, DIY projects, right? We had someone ask from the last session we talked about, when should homeowners DIY a project versus hiring a professional?
Man, let me tell you, YouTube University, man, YouTube is a powerful thing. YouTube has some really great tutorial videos on everything when it comes to your home from A to Z. Trust me on that. And a lot of things is just a lack of confidence. A lot of things is just, you women giving your man that extra little nudge and be like, baby, you can do this. So something, I actually walked a client through this about a week ago, changing their garbage disposal. Looked very complicated when you look under the cabinet and you see the hose coming from the dishwasher and the drain hose going into the line that the P-trap is going into. It looks to be very complicated, but it's really not. And I coached him through watching the YouTube video. Roy, yeah, I'm talking about you. And man, he was so happy. About 6 hours later, he called that man, Doc, I changed his garbage disposal. Now, I don't supposed to take 6 hours, but look, I ain't even talking about that. I'm just talking about the fact that I'm proud that he watched a YouTube video that I directed him to, and he was able to change his own garbage disposal. So another thing, changing your filters, your HVAC filters, something people don't think about. Very easy, based on your furnace type, and a lot of times you just look for that little metal flap that you pop up, change your furnace out. Changing a faucet in a home. A lot of times these faucets now have, due to code, these release clips that you can just release off the hot and water line and then connect the new lines to your new faucets in. That's another thing that you can do. Painting, right? Painting is just a matter of just taking your time and taping things off real good if you're not the professional. So wherever one paint meets next, just make sure you have great tape lines and you can paint a lot of these rooms yourself and they look like professionals. Changing out light fixtures. Now again, that gets a little tricky. And I'm not telling you to go out and do this, so let me put a disclaimer out there so y'all don't get electrocuted and be coming back trying to blame me for it. But again, if you can just shut the power off on your electrical panel and those 3 wires with the ground, you can look at YouTube videos and it can easily show you how to change out light fixtures. So it's so many things. The float in your toilet sometimes go bad. Another easy thing. So there are so many things in your home that if you, and I'm not going to exclude women because women are very handy too. So if women or men can just, go to YouTube, have the confidence, again, you can save hundreds of dollars by just doing a lot of these repairs yourself. And I know you can do it because I believe in you.
So last time you talked about caulk, like resealing your windows, and Simone asked, is there a caulk you recommend looking into sealing my doors, windows, and exterior?
Shout out Simone, and let me tell you, because we are real about what we say and how we look to support our community. Simone, I actually went to Home Depot and I cut and paste a great caulk that we use for both interior and exterior. You should have that in our chat thread. Boom, click on the link, caulk comes right up. And guess what? All you got to do is go online, order that thing, and Home Depot will have it delivered to your front door. You don't even have to leave, Simone. So I already took care of that for you, my dear. Thanks for reaching out.
Awesome. All right, so that's wrapping up for this morning. You want to talk to the audience, let them know, what we got coming up next, our next Coffee and Real Estate, and then land plane with wisdom.
So look, I'm going to be honest. That's why it's important for you to have a great team of great people around you. Because I get to ripping and running. I thank God every single morning for the blessings that He's bestowed upon me, my family, our business. Thank you, God. However, there's only but so much information this little peanut head can hold. And guess what? I only got 24 hours in a day, just like every other person in this world. So you need good people around you to support you. Kay is great at posting all of our social media. Like, I don't even know my TikTok account. And yet we got almost 30, 50,000 followers? I don't know how many. That's all Cassandra. And you give praise and credit to those who are helping you build your businesses, and you thank them for the work that they're doing to help you reach more people that you can be of service to. It's a very powerful thing that we don't take lightly here at Tebow Residential. So I say all that to say this. Make sure that you have good people around you to support your mission, to support your vision, And more importantly, to make sure, again, I keep going back to this because I preach this every single day, that every single client has an elite experience when they're dealing with your company. That makes a big difference. So when you can focus on that and you can hone in on that, and that becomes a very culture and the very fabric that ties and glues your organization together, you start to create a very powerful company. I hope I answered your question, Kate.
That's some great wisdom for us. All right, so we closing out. Let them know that we will be meeting every third Tuesday.
Thank you. See, keeping me on point there, because that's where I was going with that. Like, so we got it's called Coffee in Real Estate with Doc every third Tuesday at 6 a.m. sharp. We'll be live and direct with 6 a.m. sharp. Our followers are growing. We got up to 5 this week. This is our second one. Hey, y'all get up, man. Get this morning, knowledge in. Get this morning energy going. Get this morning exchange and professional views and knowledge going on, because it's a powerful thing. Get out that bed. Jackie's still dialed in. Eric's still dialed in. Look, them people about their business, man. And these are the things that you have to take 5 days: discipline, dedication, determination, drive. And don't forget to dream big. Every day I write them 5 Ds down. And them 5 Ds will take you to places and elevate you to places in life that money cannot, people cannot. But it's all about you and your self-growth and keeping that strong relationship with God that's going to put you in places to touch millions. But you got to put in that work. I listened to a lot of Myron Golden, man. One thing he was talking about the other day is that God is going to do his job, and God has done the work for us. But guess what? You got to put the work in. That's the point that people miss. Like, how do you maximize all of your blessings that are yours, that no man can take, that nothing can prosper against you? But you got to get up and you got to put in the work every single day, every single second. There's 86,400 seconds in a day. How do I know that? Because I value every single second. And I want to make sure that I don't squander 1 second. I'm making the most out of it, because that's my responsibility, to put in that level of work to take me to those levels, because that work is consistent. And that's the thing. Can't do it for 1 day, quit. Can't do it for 1 week, quit. Can't do it for 1 month, quit. It's an everyday journey in which you're developing character traits that exemplify nothing but excellence at a high level. And guess what? When you're excellence and you're about your work, you don't even have to speak about it, because people are going to see it. You're going to walk in a room and that excellence and that reputation is going to precede you, especially when you're the owner of a business, especially when you're the CEO of your own organization, or the CEO of an organization that count on you to exemplify excellence in all that you do. It's a process. And remember, today is always the first day of the rest of your life to begin that journey and that process to be consistent. Excellence is about consistency. You can't be excellent in one event and think that's excellence. No, you just had an excellent moment, but that doesn't define excellence. So excellence is a continuous event that over time you have exemplified and you have demonstrated those excellent outcomes, those excellent attributes, those excellent qualities over a long extended period of time that results in nothing but you being an expression of excellence in all that you do. So ending it with be excellent in all that you do, because excellence matters and the world respects and appreciates excellence. Until next time, I'll see you at our next construction site.